Hello and welcome to the first episode of Setup Look. In Setup Look, I will look at setups sent on the Discord server or I just found online. Without further ado, let's begin the looks.
When you look at this setup, the first thing you probably notice in this one is all that RGB. Goddamn. From the position that we are in currently, we can't see any cables except for one, the MIC cable, but it's hardly noticeable anyway. My guy is rocking 3 monitors connected to what looks like his beast of a gaming PC, but unfortunately we don't know the specs. Thank you Phazr for coming on the show.
Next we have Unknown's setup. So unfortunately we don't have this guy's name, but we can still react to his setup. So as we can see in this angle, we can now see more cable management. And in this setup, I'm noticing I can only see 3 cables, which is the one coming down from the Nanoleaf panels and the ones on the desk on the right side of the keyboard and the RGB mousepad cables. Overall, other than those 3 cables, they're not really needed. Those 3 cables, they don't look very well. You get what I mean, hopefully. But under the desk is perfectly fine. I don't see any cables under the desk. This guy Unknown is booking a massive ultra ride on his main battle station, which is plugged in to what looks like a water-cooled PC. Very good job at this setup. He had an Xbox controller sitting there, but I don't see an Xbox. Maybe it's just a decoration, I don't know. And his chair looks like a Herman Miller chair of some sort, I don't know. On his right side, the right side of the desk has a bunch of lighting just like the main one, a smaller default monitor, and 2 speakers on 2 big speakers there, and 2 headphones on a wooden and metal headphone stand over next to the PC. Thank you Unknown for coming on the show. Now we have ScorpioTech's setup. So if you have seen the thumbnail of Setup Look, you will probably recognize this setup. Yes, if you do recognize it, you're probably thinking of the right setup. This is the setup for Setup Look thumbnail, or the Setup Look thumbnail. Oh my god, I'm not making sense today. So this setup has a bunch of lighting in it, just a very cool looking setup. Your setup gets much more cooler when you add RGB lighting into this place. So I believe I can see some Nanoleaf panels again and a Gervie glide. And with this setup, there is not a wire in sight on this setup. This setup is incredible. Now you probably understand why this setup is the main setup for Setup Look episode 1. Down on over onto the TV setup, we have some PlayStation logo lights and a massive, probably OLED TV. Down where we have all of our games and everything, we have the PS5, the Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox Series X. Very cool. So the whole room, one thing I don't like about this room is that it's a bit squished. I think that when you're trying to relax back in your chair that you have, when you're at your main setup, you're going to bang your bed. This has a very little space. And I'm not a fan of this little space that your setup has. But still, the lighting, that's gonna get me, we all know. Well, you probably don't, but I love lighting. Anyway, moving over to the main setup, we have another setup with a massive ultra wide. Just this one is a smaller one than Unknowns. We have a screen bar on top of the ultra wide monitor shining down onto his peripherals. He has a very cool looking wrist vest and a mouse pad with a bunch of triangles and hexagons on there. The PC looks epic. It's not water cooled. Cool. We've got the Elgato Stream Deck under the monitor and a Rocket League wallpaper. Good to know you play Rocket League, one of my favorite games too. So yes, and then your table is held up with IKEA Alex drawers and probably an IKEA unit. I don't know. I cannot guess this. You've not told me anything. But yes, ScorpioTech, very good job on your setup, and thank you for being on the show. Well done to ScorpioTech for getting the first ever setup look seal of approval by me. Well done to ScorpioTech. Thank you for watching the first episode of Setup Look. Like and subscribe for the next one.